Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns on liquid air on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, y'all? What is good? Hope you're having a good Monday. All my people on the West Coast, all my people on the East Coast, all my people in the middle. If you're dealing with all of this cold weather, stay warm. Still waiting on my new electric snow shovel. Hasn't come in yet. Should be in by either tomorrow or Wednesday, I would suspect. I got my snow pants in today. But what's going on? What's going on? I must admit, I have not watched not near piece of footage from the Pro Bowl. I haven't seen anything from Media Row this year. I saw I think it was Simone's interview with the guy from last year, Milt Williams. Saw a couple of things with Jalen Hurts. Not much stuff, but so yeah, been not really been paying attention to a lot of the WNBA stuff and other things that's going on. The Eagle stuff, obviously, but I haven't really paid attention to much Super Bowl fanfare. And is it just me? Is it just me because the Eagles aren't there? But normally I will be watching this stuff. So, like, what is it this year? Like, what is it? I don't know. What do you think? Have you guys been watching a lot of stuff? So let me know what's going on in the chat, man. I appreciate everybody. Dave Money, first out the limo. Daniel Berry Sports, Chris Bruce, Chris 3K, Mortis in the building. Dave Money, as usual. Ian Senior, as usual. So we can rock and roll for a couple minutes, man. But it's weird, man. I just haven't. I've caught a couple of things, but I haven't been looking for it. You know what I'm saying? And is it just the fatigue of the season catching up and you just, not into it like you thought you would be? I don't know. You've been catching up with My Hero Academia. My grandson would love to hear that. Ian, you're not interested at all? I'm interested in the game. As I said last week, I'm enjoying my last week as defending Super Bowl champions. I'm gonna bathe in it until I can't. So, but I understand, man. It's weird. It's weird how it works that way, man. Was everybody like that with us when the Chiefs were in it? Like, does that just generate more interest because it's Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts and CJ Gardner-Johnson and Slay and all those personalities? Do they really come into play like that going into the Super Bowl? Because you haven't seen or heard from many quote unquote personalities on either team. Who's the personality on the Patriots? Who's the personality on the Seahawks? And I'm not talking about who's the best player. I'm talking about who's the personality. Who's the person that the media look for? They're looking for a quote from. Do we have that person? I know we have that person. The Eagles do, but as far as the Seahawks and the Patriots, who is that person? Who are you looking at it like, ooh, I can't wait to hear what he said. I know he done said something crazy. Who is that person? And I don't think they have one. So I don't know. Carrie B. Who's Carrie B? Who you talking about? Super Bowl 61 champions. Hey, Nina, how you doing? I don't know. What's up, Kareem? The Super Bowl 61 champions. I got you. I see what you're saying. What's up, Carlos? So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't. It's very interesting. Very interesting. We've been hearing all of this information about Fangio. We've been fixated on that, and we haven't seen the big picture. What's up, Art? Um, I don't know. Well, he had to chill out because he don't want to ruffle no feathers because he is on the thinnest of ice right now. Um, for some reason, I think that whole thing that's going on with him is a sham. It sound like kind of like a setup, but I don't know. I don't know. You know how these dudes get. It's funny how some people get when they got money, think they can do anything and say any old kind of thing. Um, and then somebody checks them, and then all hell breaks loose. So I don't know. I hope he gets out of it. If it's not true, if he put hands on somebody, then he get what he get. That's the way it goes. But yeah, the Fangio news. But you know what? It didn't bother me that much. Vic Fangio is 68 years old, man. So if he don't want to come back, and here's the thing, and I heard little snippets. I've been good at not listening to the radio this week, not even with Spike and Ike, because I like to listen to Ike. I try to listen to former players, but some of the stuff I've been hearing is like, they upset with Fangio because he didn't say anything, and some people are like, well, if I got to convince you, then I don't want you, and I'm like, listen, man, it, we had no better example than Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham retired, gave the speech, had everybody tearing up, all of that stuff, and then came back the next year and told us that he wasn't ready. So you can't force somebody to do it when you want them to do it. You can't force somebody to do it how you want them to do it. They do it in their own time, in their own way. And if here's what I say: if Vic Fangio was ready to retire, and the Eagles talked him out of retiring, he wasn't ready to retire. That's the long and short of it. Because when you are done with something, it doesn't matter what somebody says. If you ready to step, you gonna step. It doesn't matter what anyone says. If he was ready to shut it down, he was going to shut it down. Panda, I'm with you 100%. I would love to see that happen. I would love to see Clint Hurt as the new DC. And maybe they're setting it up like that. But if they are setting it up like that, I would hope, based on everything that happened this year with other teams trying to find coordinators and trying to interview coaches, I would hope that they would make that move and make that announcement mid-season. Do it mid-season so Vic Fangio can get his farewell tour. Everybody shows him love, all of that type of stuff, and you already got everything in place when it happens. So that way, you ain't taking none of the steam away from Vic Fangio. When it's time for Clint Hurt to give his press conference and do what he got to do, you can make it happen. Or whoever they decide to go with. I hope Clint Hurt stays, and I hope exactly that. I hope he becomes the new DC here in Philadelphia. I would love to see that because I like his type of presence in the building. I would love to see that. So we'll see. I hope he's right. I hope he's right. Cilio was one of them dudes who, you know, Cilio was good until he isn't. Some days he's on point, some days he's not. Cilio is one of those guys that knows damn everybody and got connections to everybody. So he talks to a lot of people, but that doesn't mean that his opinions and takes are always correct or that they always align with my point of view, and that's okay. So sometimes I watch Cilio and sometimes I don't. I'm not I'm not afraid to turn somebody off. If I don't like what they got to say, I ain't got to hate on them. I just don't agree with it, and I turn it off. Find something else to watch. It's that simple. Somebody, I wish I could find that. Somebody put on my page was responding to one of my posts, and he put it in the chat. He was responding to one of the videos, um, and it was one of the comments I said about Caitlin Clark, and this was on my Pro Fan Hoops channel. And it was something I said about Caitlin Clark being on NBC, and I gave my comments and stuff like that. And his comment to the video was, "Who cares about Caitlin Clark?" Or like something to the effect of, "Why do you care about Caitlin Clark? She's this, that, and the other. Like, why do people care about that?" And I was like, "Why do you care that I care? If I say something about Caitlin Clark and you don't like Caitlin Clark, why are you reading it? If I say something about Jalen Hurts and you don't like Jalen Hurts, why are you concerned about what I'm saying? Why? What does it matter? If it's not going to change your opinion one way or the other, why are you trying to change mine?" That's what it comes down to. Everybody is they think people think that they are going to say something so profound that is going to change your state of mind. It's going to change your perspective and bring you to the dark side or bring you to the light, whatever. That's a lot of people's egos. Nah, that can take Cilio. He's hot and cold for me. Some days some days I've watched him in the past and he's been really good. And other days I'm like, dude, you out of your freaking mind. Like, I don't care who you know. Like, how would you come up with that train of thought? Like, so I don't, and he's been wrong on a lot of stuff. He's been wrong on Jalen Hurts a lot. He's been right on Jalen Hurts a lot. So, like I said, I can take him or leave him. It all depends on how I'm feeling and what he's talking about. So it's all good. Reggie Miller compares CC to Pritchard. You know what? The whole thing. And do me a favor, check out my video about Caitlin Clark on Pro Fan Hoops. I did a whole thing about her and her appearance on the show. And the one thing I came away with is she's very good behind the microphone. She's very comfortable talking about basketball and speaking on what she wants to speak on. It's everybody else that's the problem. Reggie Miller gushing over her, and just saying some stupid statements. But I guess it's his opinion. So I can't change his opinion. He's gonna say what he want to say. And then some of the comments, Maria Taylor was I think that's her name, Maria Taylor, was coming up with asking her about everybody and then comparing them to her. It's like, what does Caitlin Clark do in this situation? And it's like to me, some of the questions they was asking her were very cringe. And I was like, where's this coming from? And but I know how it has to work. I know they asking them questions because they're trying to set stuff up and they're trying to make it interesting, and they trying to juggle having the show and having something, hoping she might say something salacious or I don't know. I like it. Some of the questions just and the comments seemed very cringe worthy to me. Like, yeah, it was and the whole thing with Reggie Miller trying to find her comp and all of that kind of stuff. I didn't like it. I understood it. But again, it was kind of cringe. I was like, boy, you're reaching. Like, why are you gonna compare her to, like, you're reaching? You're reaching. And some people loved it and some people took it the wrong way. And it's, what the comments say? If I don't like it, I don't like it. It don't mean that I'm hating. So she was good. And most of the time, if she ends up catching heat for something that happened or something that she said, most of the time it's not her. It's everybody's reaction to it. She ain't said nothing crazy. So it is what it is. What's up, Tiff? You didn't miss nothing. Arthur, I was thinking the exact same thing, bro. I was thinking the exact same thing. And I don't know if you guys remember, AJ Brown said it as much when he came on the radio. When people were on him, asking him, we're talking about, for some reason, talking about, I can't even remember what the context was. Something happened. He probably put out another tweet, and then all of a sudden, everybody thought he wanted to leave. And he called in the radio station. He called in the WIP and was like, "Where are y'all getting this from? I ain't never said I wanted to leave. Like, why are y'all making this up?" And that's the problem I have, because when you know how people are in the locker room, you know how this works. He was like, "No, he didn't say that. He ain't never said he wanted to leave. He ain't never said he had a problem with anybody. Everybody in locker rooms are not friends." And I've said this before, when you in a locker room, it's like that's your family. And everybody got somebody in their family that they don't get along with. It don't mean you don't love them. It just means sometimes y'all don't get along. Period. That's the way the family dynamic goes. And it is the same exact thing in a locker room. The same way. But the media will take that. And I used this example before. It's like now, like, I don't know if anybody has seen. Have y'all seen the viral videos now? It's on TikTok, on IG, everywhere, where they have these videos and they say, uh, when you mad at your spouse, but you still help them out, you still love each other. You having an argument, but you still love each other. So it's people doing nice stuff and they got the scowl on their face, or they got the attitude and all of that type of stuff. And I was like, that's the family. You ain't got to get along. You're not gonna get along all the time, but that don't mean you don't love them. And when the outside sees something, and I use this example, it's like you and your spouse having a heated conversation, not even an argument. It could just be a heated conversation. You didn't like who they eliminated on Survivor or whatever. Make up any conversation. And somebody sees you arguing with your wife or your husband. And all they catch is a 10-second snippet from a 30-minute conversation. And then what they do is they take that 10 seconds that they saw and they run with it. Oh, I heard such and such. I saw myself. They was arguing. They must be getting ready to break up. They must be headed for divorce. So they take that little snippet and they go and run with it. That's what the media does. They take one little snippet of anything and they run with it. And because AJ Brown is not somebody that talks in the media often, that gives the media impunity to say whatever it is they want to say, because they can make it up, because they just guessing. Until AJ decides to come out and say what it is, everybody's just guessing. And even if he does come out and say what it is, everybody gonna claim that he ain't telling the truth. If it doesn't align with their opinions, they're gonna swear up and down he lying. He's just saying that because he was on the radio, and well, maybe he wasn't. And what if he wasn't? What if he was straight up with what he said? He just 10 toes down on it. Y'all just don't believe it. And that's, because everybody on the radio, they got narratives too, just like everybody else. They try to pull the clickbait and get more people to listen, all of that type of stuff. It ain't nothing changed. So we'll see it. Tiff, yeah, it seems like they enjoying themselves in the off season. Yes, it does. I saw Jalen Hurts. He was answering questions from somebody down at the Pro Bowl, with Black History Month, and they were asking him about being a black quarterback and all that kind of stuff. So that was cool. I don't know who he's talking to, but Jalen Hurts looked massive compared to whoever this girl was. He looked massive. I was like, he looked like he about 6'3". Like, what happened? But I think the girl was just super short. But so I saw a little bit of the dodgeball. That was fun to watch. Myles Garrett jumping all over the place. That was fun. Plenty of coaches Vic developed. Look at Dallas. Just took your young coach. Yes, he did. He went down to Dallas. I ain't mad at him. You take that opportunity, win it. I just hope, you know, same thing I say about anybody else. I hope they don't go down there and drink the Kool-Aid. Because it's all well and good until you drink that damn Dallas Kool-Aid. Once you drink that Kool-Aid, it's a wrap. Whatever you decided to do or whatever you wanted to do ain't gonna happen. So, so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Everybody's saying Clint Hurt gonna be the next DC. I ain't mad at that. If he stays one more year and heck, studies under Vic Fangio, I ain't got no problem with that whatsoever. Yeah, AJ and Saquon was at the fight. I saw that. Yeah, I know Jalen is 6'1", but standing in front of this female reporter, she had to be super short because Jalen Hurts looked massive. That's why I pointed it out. I know he's only 6'1". So yeah, we've been talking about the AJ Diva stuff. I'm off that. Like, we know what it is. We know what it is. But excuse me. But they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it on and popping in a minute. So, but is it me? Back to the original question. Is it me about the Super Bowl? Is it just? Are we just not interested because we're not in it? Yeah, Clint Hurt and Bobby King. Yeah, I don't. I don't think we're gonna have a problem with our defense. I don't think that at all. So, do you think Tank will have a bigger role next year? I hope so. I hope so. It all depends on what Mannion's gonna do. All depends on you can't just leave. But also, it depends on if the offensive line is blocking the way the way we did when we went to the Super Bowl. That's the difference. Our offensive line can't be trash. Are we going to get a new wide receiver coach? Probably. Probably. To me, that's not a priority, though. To me, that's not. Mannion can do that from the meeting room. Mannion can do that, definitely. So, but they'll probably hire somebody. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a good game. That's just Tiffany. I don't know what and I guess my thing is why do I think that? Because remember when we was in the Super Bowl, when we was in the second one, heck, both of them, everybody thought that Kansas City was just going to run all over us in both of them. So much so that in the second one, you had Nick Wright saying on national television that the Eagles might not even get in the red zone. They were supposed to just destroy us, and it didn't happen. So even though it might not seem like a good game, it might turn out to be one of the best. But there's no buzz about it. There's no, again, who on the Seahawks do you want to talk to? Like who's the crazy guy on the Seahawks? Who's the crazy guy on the Patriots? Who's the when they got all of the podiums, who's going to have the most people at their podium during the press tour? So was that Colin Cowherd that said the red zone thing? You're right. You're right. Nick Wright did something else, but you are correct. That was Cowherd. Thank you. Yeah, Nick and his buddy got us in Cancun for the long haul. Nah, I don't believe that. We'll be back, man. We'll be back. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. Like people, excuse me, people tend to forget how difficult it is, man, to get back to that game, bro. We've been spoiled. Like we don't forgot how difficult it is. It is a difficult endeavor. So I ain't gonna lie, I want to see DeMarcus Lawrence win just so he can leave the Cowboys, go to Seattle, and win the championship. But let me be honest with you, I don't see Drake May outplaying Sam Darnold unless Sam Darnold just does Sam Darnold things. He hasn't done that most of the time in the playoffs this year. He's been solid. So let's see if he can keep it up and put it on the Patriots. Don't turn the ball over. What did you say, David Jones? On you, Howie Nick was winning in spite of him. The winning caught up to Nick and showed what kind of coach he is. And he was definitely not an elite offensive coach, period. Um, I can't really rebut that. He's still a good CEO coach, but maybe his X's and O's not up to snuff. But it's kind of hard to say that, seeing as how many aren't we top 5, top 10 in big like splash plays, 20 plus yards or something like that? Or am I giving it the wrong year? I don't know. So I don't know. Well, I got the yawns tonight. But think about it like this: if Nick Sirianni's offense is so bad, how did it take us to a Super Bowl? Kellen Moore was running Sirianni's offense. So is it the offense or is it the play call? Chicken or the egg, man. I'm sleeping on Drake May. Nah, Drake May has been horrible in the playoffs. He's been terrible. The Broncos should have beat him with a backup. He's been dreadful in the playoffs. Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl. It kind of kill our narrative of needing to be an elite QB to win. I feel like it would take away from Hurts. No, Art, just the opposite. Just the opposite. Sam Darnold is not considered an elite quarterback, not even close. Do y'all remember? Do y'all remember Mina Kimes crashing out on ESPN when the Vikings traded Sam Darnold? Or and because she's a Seahawks fan, so she was like, "What are you doing? Getting rid of Geno Smith?" And she crashed out hard. And guess what? They in the Super Bowl with the guy that you didn't want. Ain't it funny how that works? Don't nobody know. Yeah, Kellen Moore tweaked the offense, um, just like Steichen did, but still not their offense. Still not their offense. So I think Kellen Moore was a better coach. Yes, Kellen Moore knew how to adjust in game live. Nick and KP could not all season. I agree with that. Uh, maybe he just had a bad game versus Denver. Look at his other playoff games, and then talk to me. Um, still refuse to acknowledge that Nick flat out does a poor job, and you trying to get on staff. What? I don't. Does Nick? I'm trying to think. 22, 23, 24. He gotta pick it up sooner or later. Sooner or later, he's got to pick it up. I'm talking about Sirianni being a better play caller because it might come to that one or two times this year. So we'll see. We'll see. Somebody got to change it up. Nick's offenses. Yeah. I mean, we can't be predictable. We got to be able to get Jalen out of the pocket and let him use his legs and all of that type of stuff. Um, how do you scheme it up? How do you scheme that up? Hopefully they'll start taking zone reads and all that type of stuff. Um, but I mean, we got a lot. I'm gonna go over some. I'm gonna look up some places where Mannion used to be and see how he's running his schemes and see if he's throwing across the middle, all that kind of stuff. So there's gonna be some film study about Mannion coming up in the future. That's for sure. So we shall see. We shall see. But let's get let's get to the game, I guess. Let's get to the game. But it seems like it was very not a lot of buzz this year. It may be, like I said, maybe it's just us. We're not locked in, so we'll see what's going to happen. Yeah, 6 months to get it together, Tiff. You're absolutely right. That's a lot of time. We got the draft coming up. I'm working on getting my boy Ian Cummings on here. He's the draft expert. Um, yeah, we're gonna make some things happen. So, but listen, I'm on. I didn't plan on being on here long. Just wanted to rap to you a little bit. Um, been kind of a boring week though. Don't you agree? But we'll see how it turns out. Maybe this will be one of the best games. Um, do I think the defensive player can be the best player on the team? Absolutely. Look at Myles Garrett. J.J. Watt was the best player on his team. Um, absolutely. The defensive player can be the best player on the team. I agree with that. Or I would support that. Um, Shane Steichen as head coach. Make a trade for Shane Steichen. Yeah, Brian Johnson had him 8 in the NFL. He was a scapegoat. Hurts got good OC. Yeah. People forget that. People forget that. So, but all right, man. I'm about to jump up on out of here, man. Got to jump on that. I was going to hop on Arc Raiders. Maybe I should start streaming some of my Arc Raiders events because I've been doing Arc Raiders lately. Been a lot of fun, having fun. My grandson kind of shepherding me around, and then I'm gonna get this marathon game when it comes out, so it should be fun. Let's just get through this week without no damn snow. How about that? Hopefully, my shovel will be here on Wednesday. So we shall see. But I'm about to get up out of here. Didn't want to plan on going too long, but we rocked about 35, 40 minutes. So it is all good. You guys enjoy the chat. You guys enjoy the Super Bowl this week. Enjoy your last few days as reigning Super Bowl champions. Enjoy yourselves because we're going to get up out of here. And make sure you like and subscribe, smash that button, all that kind of good stuff before you get up out of here. I greatly appreciate it. And the next time we get together, bring your friends. You know the rules. So I'm going to get up on out of here. I appreciate y'all, and I will holler at you later. Go Birds.